Right, so it is day 114 of my attempt to plant a tree every single day for 2023, and so far it seems to be going alright. So let's get on with it. Right, so one of the things I've mentioned in the past is that when I remove a weed, I quite like to plant something in its place that I actually want there, because it's clearly a spot where something is going to come up, and if I don't plant something there, the weed will probably just replant itself, especially with today's weed, which was Lantana camara, which is very, very good at growing in disturbed soil. So when you've dug one up, you're usually going to get at least one more popping up there from seeds that have been dormant in the soil surface. So we are going to be replacing that with something which today ties to the birthday of one of my young cousins, because as I've mentioned before, my family is quite hybrid, and my cousin is also quite hybrid. As a result, it's very, very hard tracing our genealogy. So citrus are quite good analogies for a family because their genealogy is extremely mixed. So we are going today with a Persian lime, and a Persian lime is a hybrid, as are most citrus, and it's a hybrid between a key lime and a lemon. But it doesn't stop there, because a key lime is a hybrid between a micrantha and a citron. It doesn't stop there, because a lemon is also a hybrid, and we're not talking the rough lemon, Citrus ex Jambury, we're talking Citrus lemon, I think, which is the standard lemon that most people see in the shops. And that is itself a hybrid between a citron, which is a true species, and bitter orange. And a bitter orange is a hybrid between a mandarin and a pomelo. I will note that there is another type of citrus called a bitter orange, which is actually sort of a sister to the bulk of the citrus that you know, and that's also called a trifoliate orange or a Chinese bitter orange. It is not an ancestor of the lemon or the key lime, as far as I know. But anyway, so this is the most popular lime in cultivation. It is the standard lime you will see in most shops. It is the seedless variety. If you find seeds in one you bought in the shops, usually that'll be a Mexican lime or a key lime, which are the same variety, really. I do find that as much as oranges and lemons generally seem to want quite a lot of bright light to really thrive, limes do pretty well in quite a lot of shade, and sometimes can do a little bit better in quite deep shade because they are quite prone to sunburn. All citrus, their bark tends to be prone to sunburn, but some of them, their leaves burn back very, very readily, and I do find limes are often among that number. And so we're putting it in quite a shady spot where this lantana was, and it doesn't really need much in the way of toxic protection because it has got this Euphorbia milli, Christthorn hedge, right next to it, but I am going to be putting in a little bit of Dietes iridoides, which should come up nicely, add a little bit more cover to the ground and a little bit more chemical protection to it from a slightly different angle than Euphorbia will. So I'll also be putting in a nice little piece of aloe arborescens, which should spread out and form a nice little ground cover and suppress any more lantana that do try and pop up. All of these are reasonably soil tolerant, probably the lime least so, but with a little bit of watering it should settle in quite well, and that should mean that this soil can start to recover from having the lantana in it. I've scattered about the bits of the lantana a bit, so they should just be trampled in and break down quite quickly and form a nice part of the soil elsewhere without overwhelming one spot. Right, so that should be everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, especially if you are my cousin, although I suspect he mostly just speaks German at the moment, so I'm not sure he would have managed to get most of this, but if you didn't enjoy it, thank you very much for watching to this point. I am sorry to have put you through that, but well done for doing it. Please tune in again tomorrow when I will be planting something else, and have a good day. If you don't like spiders, now is probably the time to leave. Unless you're quite happy to see them on film, in which case stick around, you might learn something. So in here, deep inside my bromeliad, we have got the nest of a little spider, and you can see two of her egg sacs just in front of her there, and you can see her just coming into focus now. Now she is a brown button spider who are identifiable by the little hourglass shape on the underside of their abdomen near the tip. We do also have black button spiders which have that on the back of their abdomen, sort of with the sort of rear edge of hers overlapping with the bottom edge of theirs. So they are quite similar and quite similar in size, but they are quite different in temperament, because generally speaking, when you interfere with a brown button spider, their response is to play dead. If you do that with a black button spider, their response is sometimes to bite, which means that even though their venom is very similar, and the idea that these spiders can't puncture the skin is very misleading, because most of the time by adult they can, they just don't, because they don't really bite defensively in this group. It is not that they're weaker than the black button spiders, it is they are not generally able to see biting as a defense. They use it for their prey, which does make them a lot harder to get bitten by than a black button spider, but the venom is The venom is quite similar and the effects are not pleasant for either. Most adults bitten will usually survive from both, but small children and sick people should definitely seek medical attention if they do ever get bitten by a spider that looks like this. So even though she's unlikely to bite, along with the black buttons, if she does bite, she is probably one of the most dangerous spiders we have. But because she is very disinclined to actually bite defensively and is far more likely to play dead, and because I am not going to interfere with her while she has her egg cases, which is the time when a spider is most likely to do radical things in their defense, she's generally speaking quite a safe little housemate, and she's not really anything to be worried about. She's not going to go wandering in the night looking for anyone to bite. She's just here to protect her little babies, and before they hatch I will be moving this plant outside because I don't really feel like having 500 of these wandering around my bedroom.